Hi everyone, and welcome to Val Talks Pets, the forum for pet parents and enthusiasts alike. Having been in the pet industry for over 10 years now, I'm going to share with you issues and questions that arise as I work with pet parents on a day-to-day basis. I am not a veterinarian, but I do have certifications in canine, feline, small animal, fish and herptile, and avian health and nutrition from the University of California, Davis Extension. Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me on this episode of Val Talks Pets. In this episode, I'm going to talk about fall allergies. The rise in pet parents looking for solutions to help their pets, particularly dogs, with a rise in allergy symptoms is quite significant. So let me see if I can give some tips and offer some help. When a pet is demonstrating symptoms that seem to be an allergic reaction, the first thing we have to determine is whether the allergy is food-related or environmental. My first question is whether these symptoms came on suddenly, or is this something the pet experiences all the time? Next, I want to know if the parent notices the symptoms decline or go away during the winter. The symptoms also tell us a lot. What is happening? Is the dog itching all over? Is the pet chewing its paws? Are there persistent or even random ear infections? Has there been any hair loss? Some dogs will even sneeze more than usual or have discharge from their eyes. It's surprising how many allergy symptoms an animal can demonstrate that are very similar to what a human does. Dogs and cats, for that matter, tend to have allergens related to the environment enter their skin more so than a human. But inhaling spores and mold is just the same as a person. So what is going on? Simply put, an allergen will enter the body and the immune system goes into overdrive to fight the allergen, which in turn will create inflammation and the symptoms. This reaction is through food or the environment. In terms of environment, according to GoodRx.com, the most common triggers are tree pollens, such as from cedar, ash, and oak, weed pollens, grass pollens, mold spores, mildew, dust mites, and shed skin cells. If the pet experiences year-round allergies and food has been ruled out, the allergen can still be environmental, but it would be more of the indoor type, like dust mites, skin cells, or even air fresheners, perfumes, or other animals. It can be quite daunting to figure this out sometimes. So let's stick to environmental allergies a pet may be exposed to during the fall. If you live in a climate that has a specific autumn season, things change. Certain plants peak in the fall, like goldenrod or fall wild asters. Leaves and pine cones will fall, and as the season progresses, will build up quite a few layers, creating a great place for mold to set up and ticks. So be aware of those beasties. There is nothing more fun than a fall walk through the beautiful colors and warm but not hot weather with your dog. But running through the leaves and kicking up the fall foliage can put into the air these allergens that the dog either inhales or has settled on their fur. What you need to look out for is itching. A dog, for example, may rub its face on the ground or even scoot, rubbing his bum on the grass or carpet. Excessive itching may create hot spots where the skin is being ruptured and will require medication or treatment. Sneezing more than usual is a sign, even a runny nose. Coughing can show an allergic symptom too, and sometimes some labored breathing. Now, symptoms that can be confusing because they are the same ones demonstrated when there is a food allergy are licking or chewing paws and scratching inside the ear. Red ears and stinky, yeasty smelling ears as well. Generally, paw licking and ear scratching would leave me more towards a food allergy, particularly grain. For ear infections, I usually always look to food first, but again, it may be environmental, but the infections would have to clear up during the winter to surmise that. So what can we do? A few things that we can do to minimize the reactions if you have a pet that reacts are, after a walk, wipe down the dog with a grooming wipe, or even better, a hypoallergenic wipe, and wash their paws. And don't forget their face. If there are allergens on the fur or feet, this will help reduce the dog's chance of ingesting the allergen. A suggestion by betterpet.com is to avoid walking early in the morning or late afternoon. Pollen is high at these times. And if you can, bathing the pet more frequently during this season with a medicated shampoo can be really helpful. If I had a dog that I knew had seasonal allergies, I would look more holistically or naturally to see things that I know would be helpful to give my dog's body what it needs to fight incoming allergens. First and foremost, a good probiotic. Remember, as Joanne Carr from Omega Alpha Pharmaceuticals pointed out in my interviews with her, a good probiotic should have 9 strains, and the colony-forming units should be off the charts. 1 billion CFUs is not that great. We want to see 3 billion. I also do not want a probiotic that contains animal digest. According to dogsnaturallymagazine.com, Animal Digest is a concentrated flavoring agent made up of hydrolyzed animal protein. It means the manufacturer hydrolyzed the protein with heat, enzymes, and acids to break it down into amino acids. However, this changes the chemical structure of a protein, and that can void or reduce its nutritional value. And the wording is intentionally vague. We're not told what type of animal is in this component of the supplement. To make matters worse, before these ingredients get rendered, they're denatured acid or crylic disinfectant. These are both known toxins that will cause chemical burns and can even be fatal. So, if you read a probiotic or any food for that matter that contains animal digest, it is probably worth a hesitation. A good probiotic can do its job very nicely, thank you very much, without this crazy additive. Okay, secondly, I would be giving my dog an immune system booster. Omega Alpha makes Healthy Pet, which, according to their product guide, helps provide antioxidants for the maintenance of good health, supports the immune system and biochemical interactions, as well as a few more great immune boosting properties. And my favorite immune booster, cleanser, and allergy fighter is Dandelion. Dandelion has so many amazing properties, but it is especially good at nourishing the skin and coat and fighting allergies. You can get dandelion in powder form or do what I do, which is make an infusion or tea. In the spring, there were dandelions, so I made tea from the ones that I picked. But once they were gone, I had to switch to the tea I could buy at the health food store. But I tell you, dandelion tea is amazing. I would also have on hand apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar can kill bacteria and help kill pathogens. So as a management against allergens, it's one for the toolbox. I would wash the dog's paws in this and clean out their ears with it as well. I would also have an omega-3 to help with inflammation. Camelina oil is very good for its reducing effects on inflammation. And another really good one is bee pollen. Bee pollen, according to petbotanica.com, has been used as a natural remedy for allergies in dogs. It contains small amounts of pollen from various plants, which can help desensitize dogs to common allergens. It is suggested to start with small doses and then work up to 1/8 teaspoon for every 10 pounds. It's also recommended to go organic if possible. Now, as for other options, some pet parents use prednisone. Prednisone is a corticosteroid, so it works on the immune system to help relieve allergy symptoms by suppressing the immune system. Cats tend to be able to be on prednisone longer than dogs, but prolonged use is not recommended. Some dogs have been given steroids or antihistamines to relieve symptoms. Responses vary with these from dog to dog. Now, Apoquel is another medication I am actually sick of hearing that dogs have been put on. Apoquel, according to akc.org, halts the immune system's signaling cascade before it can send the inflamed, itchy signals. Although it manages inflammation and itchiness, Apoquel does have side effects that a dog can experience, and it does not work on every dog. It also doesn't seem to have the best response for ear itchiness. Apoquel, at least in Canada, is very expensive. I cannot tell you how many times I have had a conversation with someone who is trying to explore other options for their dog because the dog is on Apoquel and it is very expensive and they just don't want the dog on this drug forever. My problem with this approach is the fact that we are just masking symptoms, not dealing with the cause. From my point of view, I want to give the dog what its body needs to fight naturally the allergens, boost its immune system, and facilitate healing with natural items the body can recognize and utilize, as opposed to pushing down the symptoms that are there for the reason to tell us there is a problem. Now, I know some pet parents have told me that without this drug, the dog will scratch itself raw, and that is a real concern. However, I find that these pet parents are still looking for an alternative because they do not want their dogs on this for the rest of their lives for health and wallet reasons. When it comes to seasonal allergies, it is important to recognize and identify the symptoms your dog may be exhibiting. It's a tough one, but identifying food from the environment is the key. Taking precautionary steps such as washing and wiping after walks and outdoor time is also a good defense. I also think giving the dog immune system boosting supplements or tea, for example, may just be exactly what that dog needs. It is certainly worth a try before going down the drug rabbit hole. There are alternatives. It's just a matter of researching what you can do and perhaps getting advice from natural and holistic companies that deal with supplements for pets. Usually they have incredibly educated people available to speak with you and are delighted to help you get what you need for your pet's well-being. So this fall, if your pet starts sneezing and scratching, I say have a try with the natural methods first, and of course, do some research. Because as I say, knowing is caring.
Thank you for listening to Val Talks Pets. Please remember to follow or subscribe to ensure that you never miss an episode. To really help the show and to make it easier for others to find, please rate and review each episode that you find interesting and helpful. And don't forget that you can also email me at val@valtalkspets.com with topics you would like me to address or with any questions you may have. Also, check out my website at valtalkspets.com and let me know what you think and how we can improve upon it. Thanks for caring.